Welcome everyone to Amal Gordon and Tando Servant's CellFilm, based on inclusive education, crafting classrooms for all. So inclusive education is a process of addressing and responding to the diverse needs of all learners through increasing participation in learning cultures and communities and reducing exclusion. In a sense, inclusive education is cultivating participation and reducing exclusions caused by various distortions and disabilities. Inclusive education aims to restructure school policies and practices towards the scope of learner diversity. Inclusion does not remain during formal schooling, but also learning also happens in homes and communities. Every learner, regardless of their disability, background or challenge, deserves equal access to quality schooling. The core aim of inclusive education is to use education as means of restoring equity, creating a sense of belonging and fostering participation. Then we have principles of inclusive education. Number one, we have diversity, which is a natural and variable. On the other hand, it can also be a predominant learning disability amongst various learners within societies. All learners can succeed when the right support is available. Support refers to the holistic development of learners within the school environment. Inclusive education needs teachers to learn and adapt methods from observing and studying learner behavior and learning needs, not the other way around. Inclusive pedagogy rejects labeling, focuses on strengths. Here are a few principles of inclusive education. Number one, we have equity and fairness in access. Number two, we have respect for diversity as a resource. Number three, participation and belonging for all learners. Number four, flexibility in teaching and assessment. The main principle is that every learner matters and matters equally. According to the South African Context White Paper 6, historical legacy is one of the driving forces for inclusive education in South Africa. Because of inequality, special needs education, under-resourced and well-resourced schools, deprived learners, and more importantly, the solution for systematic inclusion within education. UNESCO adds inclusion must dismantle barriers to learning and not just integrate learners. The South African White Paper 6 states the following about learning needs to be acknowledged. Firstly, acknowledges that all children can learn and need support. Secondly, calls for full service schools. Thirdly, establish school-based support teams and district support teams. Fourthly, converts special schools into resource centers to support mainstream schools. Fifthly, emphasizes early identification of barriers, curriculum flexibility, and parental or community involvement. Effective practices. Every child and youth has the ability to learn. All learners need well-rounded holistic support to unleash their full learning potential. Respecting diversity means that the teacher effectively acknowledges differences in age, gender, culture, language, etc. are all means of effective practices. Diversity is seen as a natural and valuable part of human experience. The education system aims to structure methodologies in a manner of adaptability for the learning needs. The focus should shift from changing the learner to changing the system. Learners are empowered by developing their strength and critical thinking. The main goal is to enable learner participation meaningfully during their own learning journey. Learning is not confined to formal schooling. It includes homes, communities, and informal settings. To practice inclusion, the teacher and learners must embrace all contexts where the teaching and learning occurs. Grounded in the Constitution, inclusive education promotes equity, redress, and non-discrimination. It seeks to correct historical injustices and impairments. Parents, educators, and communities are very crucial towards the role of identifying and supporting learners. Their role is important for successful inclusion. Strategies like leveraging existing resources and phasing in changes are effective practices of inclusive education. Here are a few globally recognized effective practices of inclusive education. Number one, we have universal design of learning, flexible teaching for multiple needs. Number two, we have differentiated instruction, tailor content, process, and assessment. Number three, we have culturally responsive pedagogy, integrates learners' cultural backgrounds. Number four, we have collaborative teaching, co-teaching models improve support. Then number five, we have peer support and social constructivism, which refers to learning through collaboration, reducing exclusion. Then these practices are all in place to allow for participation and belonging. All learners should be actively involved in the culture and curriculum of educational institutions. Inclusive education practices foster social integration and equal participation amongst learners in the school environment. In diverse classrooms, learners differ in learning styles such as visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and tactile. Gardner's multiple intelligence include linguistic, logical, musical, bodily, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic. Teachers must design lessons that stimulate multiple intelligence. The main purpose of understanding diverse classrooms is that diversity is not a barrier but a strength. Diverse classrooms are amongst the most common learning environments in the South African schooling context. Therefore, responding towards diversity is a must for educators. One's learning need may be another learner's learning asset, thus creating a need for the bioecological model in a place as a frame of reference for educators. In practice, inclusion is a global priority tied to the Sustainable Development Goals. Quality education is for all. So hybrid inclusive education. So hybrid equals a mix of in-person plus online learning. So Creamer states that teachers must bridge theory and practice in hybrid spaces. Benefits of hybrid inclusive education is flexibility, personalized learning, wider open access, bridge from the digital divide. Challenges of hybrid inclusive education is digital divide, teacher readiness, infrastructure gaps. According to the South African lens, hybrid inclusion must address unequal access to technology. According to AI and inclusive education, the promise is to support learners with disabilities, multilingual content, and reduce teachers' workload. These are the risks that follow AI usage and inclusive education by Smith. Number 1, we have biases. Number 2, privacy issues. Number 3, unequal access. Then we have ethical principles, which is transparency, accountability, and teacher agency. An average of 48.5% of learners nationally own a digital device, looking at a 63% of learners in urban areas and a 21% of learners in rural areas. The inclusive pedagogical framework. Spratz and Florian states the theoretical framework to follow as educators. Number 1, have differences are essential to learning. Number 2, teachers must believe they can teach all learners. Number 3, collaboration and creativity are key. Number 4, universal design for instruction, equitable use, flexibility, intuitive design. Number 5, zone of proximal development, scaffold learning to support growth. This theory was established by Vygotsky to ensure that learners take ownership of their learning journey. Inclusive education drives social transformation. Every learner matters and matters equally. To conclude, we like to say inclusive education equals more than a policy. It is a philosophy of belonging. This learning approach requires skilled teachers, supportive schools, and community involvement. Inclusive education aligns with OPV 222 goals of supportive, strength-based, resilient learning environments. Social transformation could take place through inclusive education.